like, bro.
She got a kid. Look at his back. Oh my god. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another reaction, man. LBB Da Vinci. He's back.
We back.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time coming, man. We back. Merry Christmas, by the way. Yeah. Or if you don't celebrate it, you know what
Happy holidays, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna hop right back into a Jordan Peterson reaction. Y'all love Jordan Peterson. We got one Jordan Peterson video is about to reach 20,000 views.
20,000.
20,000.
It's crazy.
But we appreciate all the support. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share, man. We're gonna hop right into this video. Let's go.
Let's go.
I thought we were talking about masculinity. We are. No, we're not. Yes, we are. How are we talking about masculinity? Because I'm asking you what you think of men and of women. No, basically what you've been trying to do, I would say, for the last 15 minutes is put me into a sequence of corners by accusing me of various forms of misbehavior.
Do you think a trans woman is a real woman?
I don't really like the way those questions are formulated. Now, I don't know what that means. What do you mean a real woman?
Well, I'm asking you, in your mind, you know, it depends what you think a real woman is, but do you think a trans woman is a woman?
No.
Why not?
Because I think that women are capable, generally speaking, of having babies, and they have female genitalia, and they have an X chromosome, and I think the biological markers are relevant. It doesn't necessarily mean that I don't think that people should be treated with respect and dignity if they happen not to fit easily into a gender category. That's a different issue.
Right.
But it's a matter of definition. And I actually think it's a foolish argument in some sense. Because what do you mean by real?
Well, I mean, you've just clarified that, though. You don't think that a trans woman is a woman. And do you think that that is what is behind or explains your opposition to this idea of a law mandating you to use a preferred pronoun, is because you don't actually believe that that's the truth, that a trans woman is a woman and therefore you can't use that pronoun?
No, that's not my argument at all. Yeah, really. My argument is that the government should compel voluntary speech.
No, but I know what your argument is. And
no, but that's
very
really
clearly.
it. No, but that's exactly it.
There's no motivation behind it. But you don't believe
I wouldn't put everything on my online in my life to take the stance I did unless I had thought that through very deeply. And I've thought it through very deeply. There aren't hidden motivations that have to do with some arbitrary prejudice against trans people.
Okay.
It's pure and simply this. There's never been a time in English common law history where the government compelled speech, and the Canadian government dared to do that. And that was unacceptable. And they masked it with this show of compassion for the oppressed, and I don't buy it. Marxists say, well, that wasn't real Marxism. What it really means, and I've thought about this for a long time, it's the most arrogant possible statement anyone could ever make. It means if I would have been in Stalin's position, I would have ushered in the damn utopia instead of the genocidal massacres, because I understand the doctrine of Marxism and everything about me is good. It's like, well, think again, sunshine. You don't understand it. You don't understand it, and you're not that good. And if the power was in your hands, assuming you had the competence, which you don't, you wouldn't have done any better. And even if you had, there would have been someone else waiting right behind you to shoot you the first time you actually tried to do anything good. And that's what happened to all the old guard who ran the damn revolution. Stalin rounded them all up and shot them, along with their families and millions of other people. So even if you do happen to be that avatar of moral purity that you claim implicitly, the probability that you'd get to act out your goodness in relationship to those possessed by your ideology is zero.
Yeah, man. Yeah, think about it. Yeah, depending on, in order for you to even reach a point of power to where you can even be safe, like how you would be able to implement those type of things, you will have to kill people and have the absolute power. Like, you're working with other institutions within the monarch, within the government, to be able to even exercise any form of, you know, judicial power or anything like that. So if you even had that kind of power, you have to be bloody.
And just like you said, there's going to be someone that'll stab you in your back and take it right from you. And that's exactly what the monarchs would do, killing their own family and stuff together.
Communists would do.
Exactly.
Those are the sorts of problems that trans people face every day, being out of housing, being considered, considering suicide. These are really big
Is that an old
problems.
man or woman?
My refusal to use pronouns because left-wing activists want me to use them has nothing to do with whether or not trans people are having difficulties in society. And I'd also like to point out that I've had many letters of support.
Isn't it?
I've had many letters of support from trans people, and they tell me that the trans activists don't support them, and most trans people actually wanted to be referred to as he or she.
Doesn't mean
They
that
weren't
you
my
are
friends.
untransphobic.
They
Just
weren't
because
my
you
friends.
know a few people, just because you've talked
I
to a few
didn't know
trans
them.
people, you don't know the trans community like the trans community does. You've got no idea what it's like.
Professor Peterson, I'm sorry to interrupt. Let's let Professor Peterson finish his thought, please. All right. So the trans activists aren't proper representatives of the trans community because they haven't been elected by the trans community.
Nobody elected you either, Jordan.
I'm not speaking for anyone except myself, and on behalf of other people, perhaps who want to maintain the right to free speech. I'm not claiming that I'm a representative of white people or white men or any other group. I'm speaking on behalf of myself, and so I'm not taking. Professor Peterson, let me jump in there though, because we have seen an evolution of language. There are words that we don't use anymore. Not by legislation. Well, legislation or not, there are words that have evolved. We don't use, for example, I'm Asian. I would bristle if someone called me Oriental. That is an evolution of how we use words. How is this different, whether legislated or not? I understand legislatively, but if at the heart of it is to allow a student to study free of what they feel is discrimination, why not help that along? I already made my case for help that along. I believe that this legislation is extraordinarily dangerous, and there's other elements of it too that we haven't even got to in our society yet, like the protection for gender expression.
You can't handle cricket crack. You can't handle someone calling you a name.
That white guy was like, I finally found a worthy opponent, like from Kung Fu Panda, bro. He's already smiling like, finally got him. I have to learn to defeat you, bro.
People are so soft. Where did this come from?
Oh.
This came out of nowhere.
The word fashion.
When people talk about common ground, it's got to be founded on some kind of truth. And when we have feminists saying, I don't believe in the biological differences between men and women, well, that's why it's controversial. Where do you go from there? That's why it's controversial to say what you're saying, and it's controversial to say, hold on a second, maybe a girl on testosterone therapy winning high school wrestling meets is a problem. That's controversial.
Yeah, maybe that's a bad idea. It's just possible that that's not a very good idea. It's hard to imagine that could be the case. But, and this idea that I don't believe in the biological differences between men and women, it's like, well, what do you mean by believe? Exactly. It's like you act out your belief. What the hell does that mean? And what do you mean? See, what do you mean by belief? What do you mean by biology? And what do you mean by gender? Like, as soon as you put those three concepts together in a sentence that says, I don't believe in the biological difference between the genders, you throw the meaning of all three of those words up into the air so far that no one can tell what you're talking about, including you.
Yeah, man. Jordan Peterson, bro. Enjoy watching him. Not necessarily destroy people, but intellectually like this.
Yeah, it's always insightful.
Yeah. He seems to be very patient. He has to be. He's doing all these interviews with people who are constantly trying to get him to, you see him trying to break.
Trying to rattle them up.
Yeah, you see that one dude just kept talking over him. I don't know if I can have the patience.
Good.
But yeah. Patreon coming soon, man. For all the Jordan Peterson fans. You got stand-up comedy, full stand-up comedy reactions coming. The Jordan Peterson lectures, our podcast, whenever that comes, we're going to have that up on the Patreon.
Leave your suggestions so we have them ready for you guys.
Yep, and the people who donate, your video suggestions will be first in the videos, so let us know. Whenever we have the Patreon ready, whenever we have videos up on there, we'll let you know so y'all can go over there and support the channel.
And something new, we're making it up. Anyone who uses hashtag LBB will screenshot them and promote them on the channel.
Yeah.
We're trying to get ourselves out there, man. We already hit 1,080.
Yeah, for real.
Almost 20,000.
Before the new year. That's crazy. But yeah, if you enjoyed the reaction, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Lord.